Hello again, welcome along to another episode of All the Gear, No Idea. I'm Dave Lockwood. With me this evening is young Keiran, hornblower. How are you, sir?
Everyone, I'm good, thanks. Hi, Dave.
Yeah, doing well. Don't forget, you can find us on all the usual podcasting platforms and stuff like that. But we'll go into our socials. Me, Dave Lockwood, you find me Milljets UK, Facebook, Flickr, Instagram, other platforms as well, which we'll talk about. Keiran, where they find you?
Yes, you'll find me Keiran Wilkinson Photography on Facebook, Flybycode on Instagram, or KeiranWilkinson.com on the internet.
Excellent.
And another platform as well.
Ah, right, okay. This is about sharing your images, and we're going to talk something new in just a few moments' time. But where do you share your images, Keiran? What do you normally do? What's the one thing you like, and what's the one thing you don't like about it?
Yeah, so I shared, like I've just mentioned, Instagram, Facebook, and on my website. The thing I really like is the community. You get in the right Facebook group, the right Instagram circles, you get some really nice connections. In fact, I met a lot of the people that I now go out and photograph with through Facebook groups and things. So that's great.
Yeah.
I don't like the chasing likes and algorithms. It just seems to continually change. It takes the joy out of my photography to some extent. So that's where I share my images.
I used to love Instagram. I still post there, but not as much as I used to. And the algorithm, I just don't see people's photos anymore on it. You don't get
very video specific.
Yeah, it's very video. It's pushing to your stuff that if you doom scroll, you're going to end up there for about a day going through all the stuff and everything like that. So Insta's it can be a bit of a pain. I like Flickr. Flickr's okay in the albums and stuff like that, but I don't seem to have the community I used to have with another account I used to have on Flickr. So that was good, but I'd probably say Facebook as well, but Facebook obviously compresses the images and they're not great on there, are they? So that's basically where I do my stuff. But there is a new platform out there, and many of you would have heard of it, and we're going to bring you the two guys that are behind it. First off, got to say Tom Dalt is with us. Tom, how are you?
Hello, Dave. Lovely to be here on the podcast. Really, really nice to join you and Keiran. Very well, thank you very much. And yeah, really excited to dive into this episode.
Yeah.
And talk about sharing images.
Indeed. And Mr. Richard Cooper is here, as a few of you might know him.
Good evening, guys. Great to be here.
Fantastic stuff. Now, if you know these two guys, you know Tom has been working on a platform called Kōlab for some time. And Kōlab, when we record this today, launched on Android. So it's now available on the web, it's available on iPhone, and it's available on Android. And it is everywhere. And basically, Tom, what is Kōlab? What is it all about?
Yeah, absolutely. So Kōlab's brand new platform that Rich and I have been working on now for the last couple of years. And it's aimed at helping photographers be more creative. So what does that look like? Well, when you come into Kōlab, we have things that are called missions. So these are creative challenges that aim to kind of give a bit of purpose to your photography sharing. So at the minute we're live in 3 genres. It's aviation, landscape and wildlife. So for example, on the aviation, we might have a mission called Special Schemes, where you can come and share your favourite liveries or military schemes. Within wildlife, that might look like, feathers, fur and scales. One of our brand partners we've got on in a minute is running a really cool mission in there, and photographers coming together and sharing those nice close-ups of wildlife, or in landscape, could look like big sky, people showcasing these big, open, epic skies. So throughout that, people come and share their images within these missions, and we have some really clever technology that goes on behind the scenes that helps surface some feedback, and we'll dive into that later on in this session, I'm sure. But yeah, it's just meant to be, a place for photographers, because is it not about time that we have a place actually built for what we really enjoy?
Amen.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Instagram, as I said, I used to love sharing on there, and now it's videos, and you don't see the people that you followed and the people that you've gone along with and their images. They just don't appear there. So how do you ensure on Kōlab that people see other people's stuff that they follow?
Yeah, great question. So, I mean, to begin with, like the home feed at the minute, it's all chronological. So anything you're going to see on that home feed, it's done by post order. Plus, we also do have a following feed on there as well. But any of these other major platforms you go on, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, they're all engagement led, right? So these big platforms create these feeds and these mega algorithms that are trained by billions of dollars to optimize one thing, which is keeping you on the platform, and they don't really care what it is you're spending your time scrolling on, right? You know, and I think we've all probably sat there doom scrolling and found ourselves 3 hours later still doom scrolling. So on Kōlab, our feed is different. It's built around actually showing you that content that is relevant to you as a photographer, keeping you inspired, keeping you pushing forward around those interests that you have.
Yeah, Rich, what did you bring to Kōlab, obviously? Because Tom started it off, didn't he? That's the history behind it. It is Tom's baby, and then you came along and helped along with it?
Yeah, I suppose so. I mean, I feel like we've been working on it. How long was it, Tom? A couple of years now? It feels like it's been around forever,
absolutely.
doesn't it?
Yeah,
Goodness
I mean,
me.
you know, we were sat there back in my apartment scratching things on paper, weren't we, together?
Yeah, totally. So we go back quite a way for it. It's very much, Tom's brain's the size of a planet. It's absolutely ridiculous what this boy churns out. It's unbelievable. I don't pretend to be able to keep up with it. Every time I speak to him, there's some brand new feature that's coming out that's blown my head off. So he's very much the creative brains behind it. But I suppose because I've been doing this for such a long time that I've got a good handle on the community side of it and what works, and, you know, kind of like what makes photographers tick and what they want to see. And obviously, you know, people know who I am and what I do. And so it's been quite nice to be in the forefront of something that's leading that pinnacle of what's being developed for aviation photography, and really pushing that forward to people that, you know what I do, and kind of, I suppose, well, trust me, really. If I say it's good, it's got to be good, right? Otherwise, I'm not putting my name to it.
You're putting your name to something that is grown and
I
grown.
really
and grown.
believe in it.
Yeah,
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
I was lucky enough to be. I think it's last year we started on iOS as the testing and stuff like that, and the initial ones, and then you wiped it, and I lost all my images, Tom, which was like.
Oh yeah,
he's never forgiven you, Tom. You do realise.
Yeah, I'm not forgiving you that one, Tom. But it's grown from there, and it's great to see so many people come aboard. So what was the inspiration? You know, we know the inspiration was to do something for photographers, but how do you go about doing that? How did you create it from scratch?
Yeah, great question. So, I mean, Rich and I, we go back a long way. So we run Centre of Aviation Photography together. And over the last kind of 5 years, we've been delivering courses and workshops to thousands of photographers through Kōlab Online. And, you know, that has given us some real insights just in terms of, you know, how photographers learn and what options are available out there to actually learn and progress and get better. Now, the flip side of that is, you know, myself, I've been a photographer myself for 18 years. I've grown, you know, Instagram, my own personal Instagram to, you know, thousands of followers and sold prints and, you know, had some really amazing opportunities through that and working through brands. But my God, is it difficult working on those other platforms? And actually, it was after COVID, it was 2022. And you know what? I just had enough. And I was finding that I was getting really, really burnt out with posting online and getting nothing more back than just some likes or some follows, and I found myself in this, you know, in a bit of a pit where I was actually really happy with the photography that I was doing at the time, and I felt it was my best work, but then I put it online and I wasn't actually getting anything back, and it just became a frustration more than anything. So you know, I spent a couple of weekends just mapping out a few ideas. What could a new platform for photographers actually look like, where, you know, rather than posting your work going head to head against each other to compete for those same likes, those same follows, that same attention, what about if there was an idea of a concept that was more collaborative? It's kind of where the name Kōlab came from, right? Kōlab, short for collaboration, and the initial concept was this idea where photographers could come together and share their work around these kind of themed challenges that would add purpose to your work, whilst also actually allowing you to push your skills forward, try new things, and you know, and push through those creative plateaus that I think we all face as photographers. So that was the initial concept. Obviously, it's made several twists and turns over the course of the last couple of years to where we are today. But yeah, that was the initial kind of starting point, Dave.
Yeah. So you've gone from that. So how do you actually get it off the ground? Do you go and do some coding, or do you get somebody to do the coding for you and all that kind of thing?
You remember I said the bit about Tom's brain being the size of a planet? This is the bit.
Yeah.
Well, so initially... Go on, Dave, sorry.
No, I was going to say, you didn't write it all yourself, did you, Tom?
So up until around April this year, there's been a development team involved. Since April, really since March this year, I now do all of the development. So
Wow.
I've shipped Android myself and web
It's incredible.
myself.
Yeah.
Which has been an amazing, really really enjoyable thing to do. But I guess going back to your original question in terms of getting it off the ground, well, initially it was about finding the right people that I wanted to get involved with this project. For me, of course, it was a idea that stemmed from my own problems that I face as a photographer. But to really take this off the ground and to really do this properly, I wanted to start with the right team. And it goes without saying that Rich was the first guy I went to for this. It was a complete no-brainer to bring Rich on board this project from day one. Before we'd even kind of mapped out what that really looked like, it was a given. The second thing I did was I wanted to find someone to help me with the technical side of things. So I did a bunch of research, and I got a guy on called Khalil. It's based in the UK. Amazing technical strategy CTO that has helped me then kind of build and grow the development team. I found the best designer I could possibly find on the internet.
He's amazing. Yeah.
Based in Montenegro, amazing talented guy called Dennis. He did all of the designs for the initial iOS app.
Yeah.
And those are the core pillars really. And then, kind of mapped it out, started the development, and went from there.
Wow. So it's grown from the initial first platform into what we've got now, and if people are using it, and I know lots and lots of people are now using it, you can see that you've got the missions, but different. When we spoke initially, you were talking about islands and things like that. So having a photography island and being able to go between these different worlds.
Yeah, so it's been really interesting building Kōlab, because when we first came up with a lot of these ideas, we had these fancy words for all sorts of things, right? A bunch of different fancy words. And what I found is actually these fancy words didn't really do much more than actually just confuse our user base. And actually over time...
I remember that original version.
But the likes of yourself, Dave, and Keiran that were involved, you are the founding team that helped shape and help make these decisions, right? That actually enabled us to learn, like, an island is actually, what is it? It's just a photography genre. Hey, people are much more likely to understand that. So we've pivoted along the way to make the app simpler to understand.
Yeah. And what feedback are you getting from users now? You're getting positive feedback from them?
Yeah, absolutely. Our App Store reviews, like worldwide, are only 5-star. And we're getting some really, really strong feedback now from users. And again, one of the things that's always been important with this, with building Kōlab, is going back to that concept of collaboration. And when I was talking about collaboration, I don't just mean the internal team. I really wanted to build this as a product with our user base. So rather than going out and spending 3 years building this product internally behind closed doors and putting something out there in the wild, it kind of took a bit more of a risk in terms of actually launching a product that was nowhere near finished. And even to the day, it's not finished. We still have a long way to go.
You were really open about that, weren't we? When it all started, it's just like, you know what? We want this to be formed by photographers. It's because we've got those ideas, and like you said, the islands and the fancy words or whatever, however you want to put it. But until people started using it and shaping it and going, you know what, I don't get that, or I don't understand that, or hey, what about this idea? We were really, really keen from day one to make sure this is shaped by photographers, not just us.
Yeah.
So absolutely.
So the individual uploads and everything like that to the platform. Now you've got web-based, and now you've got Android-based. So you're covering everything. How difficult was it to get those two others done after iOS?
So
it's a big one.
It was a big job. It was a big job, and I basically decided to take them on single-handedly. To build those, and it was a big task, but AI has come on a long way these days, and actually in terms of a business, kind of really trying to put Kōlab out as a business, not just as a product, but as a business, really at the forefront of the available technology out here today, and hopefully that's going to start to come across in the user experience as well, over the coming months as well. So it was thousands of hours of work to ship Android and web, but we had the reference from iOS, and I kind of used that as the blueprint really to build out the other two.
Is it? It's easy to port something across from iOS to Android because I've no idea whatsoever.
It's a whole different world. Kieran's laughing.
Yeah. So for the listeners, my background is in software. So when we get to the interrogation of Tom later in the software,
Yeah, right. That could be another microlight issue. You know what I mean? That's the geek out.
Yeah. I mean, what I would say, you talk about collaboration with the community. Collaboration with the tech community as well. Like, you're talking to myself and a couple of other people that I definitely know have definitely had conversations with you guys as well. Like, been very open about the technology and how you've approached it and things like that. Because questions come about of, well, where are my images? Are they safe? Can people print them if I upload them at high resolution?
Absolutely.
Because one of the big things you've not mentioned is Kōlab's image displays like no other platform.
And it's so quick as well.
Yeah.
It's the size, the resolution, how good it looks is... Yeah.
The quality is something else as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to Dave's question of so how difficult was it around
my take on that? I thought it was going to be a lot easier than it was. Obviously, we're consumers, right? So we see there's an Android phone and there's an Apple phone, and you just think, okay, well, you've done one, so just make it look like that. But there are ways you can do that if you build it in the start from like a coding base that does talk to both platforms. We could have done that, but it would have been a little bit I was going to swear then, it's going to be a little bit naff. It's going to be a little bit
comes
naff.
with its limitations is what we're saying.
It does. So that would have been an easy shortcut to make, but we did not want to do that. This is not about shortcutting. And I personally, I know Tom the same, but I feel very strongly about the way it looks. We're artists, right? We're photographers. We take a lot of time and effort and care to how that edit looks and the composition and everything else. So if it's then put on a platform that forces me to use a different crop, or the resolution's not there, or it just doesn't look good and it's not sexy, I'm not interested. It's not for me. So we went deliberately down the let's do one first, iOS. That was a very deliberate decision, purely because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, but it's because we were both on Apple, right? So we're like, we got to start somewhere. Let's absolutely smash it. Let's have a beta test team. Let's have founding test members. Get them really hands-on and shape this thing so that when we come to do the next one, i.e., either web or Android, we know what we're doing. We're not trying to reinvent it or anything else. So the reinvention goes along with the software, because once then you do decide, okay, iOS is looking good. We know what we're doing. We know the direction of this thing. Then you've got to start again. You can't bring that coding over from an iOS system into Android. They just don't talk to each other. So you literally have to build two apps, and that's where Tom's come in and just taken that by the reins and absolutely smashed it. So yeah, this week actually, I think it was yesterday, wasn't it? I snuck out of my mother-in-law's roast dinner.
Yeah. All the priorities.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. It's live. Quick, let's go. So I did a cheeky little video on Facebook, just saying, you know what, this is a big deal. You guys have been waiting for this a lot, and I think it was quite surprising to me personally how many photographers were on Android. I thought, I'm an Apple fanboy, right? So I thought everyone just used Apple, and there's a few that just use the odd weird phone here and there. But oh no, I was completely wrong about that. Hands up.
You're going to get a load of hate comments now, Rich, that you call Android a weird phone.
I'm used to it. It's cool. But yeah, goodness me, it was so important to us. So we really wanted to do it well. And fortunately, Tom was able to absolutely nail it. Yeah.
Aren't you glad Microsoft's phone never took off?
Oh, yeah. I know.
Dear.
That would have been fun. Another platform for the niche users, let's say. So going on to web as well, that's opened up a whole new world where you can actually drag. I mean, I do find web a lot easier. I need to upload more. Sorry, Tom, it's time. But it's finding... getting the right images to go with the right missions and things like that you've got to find. But it is so much easier to go onto your desktop, especially if you've got two screens, and just drag that file into there, and there you go. You haven't got to go through your phone. You haven't got to download it from, I don't know if people use Amazon Photos like I do to back up everything in the web. Download that to your iOS and then upload it again. Now it's just a simple case of drag and drop, so that works much better for me personally.
That's brilliant.
So how has the growth been? I mean, what have you seen in the last few weeks since you've been to web, since you've been to Android? how's it going?
Well, I think we had a real jump with the Android stuff as kind of expected. Web was a natural growth. There wasn't like a big spike in that. It was a natural growth. Upward trend of people using it. In fact, it's quite interesting with the website. We initially had that as a passive kind of like view only, didn't we, Tom? It was just kind of going to be okay. Let's just have a web version so people can view it, and indeed, specifically Android guys and gals could look at it so they could feel more involved and part of the community. But testament to what I was saying earlier about how important it is that the photographers are so involved and how reactive they are, because when they send an idea to us, it's the people that are developing it that they're talking to. It hasn't got to go up the chain, down again, up the chain, and then have a meeting. It's literally, you know what? I want the web to work fully natively and be able to upload. So within a week, it was just done. It's like,
it was quick, wasn't it?
Yeah,
really
I
did notice
really
that.
quick.
It was brilliant. Really brilliant.
So that was quite a natural growth, but yeah, definitely there was a very exciting jump when we said, right, Android's now ready, and I think it kickstarted some iOS posters as well, Tom, didn't it? There was some good stats come out of that.
Absolutely, it's been great. Yeah, the last couple of days have been fantastic on Kōlab. Two of the busiest days we've had in a good several months now, which is it is amazing to see. And last year it was difficult just only being able to build iOS, because we get messages every day, every other day. When's it coming for Android? When's it coming for Android? When's it coming for Android? And I'm like, I really wish I could launch Android. Like now, I genuinely wish I could. But, building this stuff, it takes resources, like a lot of resources behind the scenes that, it just has to be done properly. And one thing that we didn't want to do with this is rush it. We want to take our time. We want to build a proper product. And the good thing is that Android users, they now get a much more finished product than the iOS users did. So,
that's so true.
That's the payoff. That's the payoff.
Really good comment. Yeah, nice.
Your patience is rewarded.
Yeah,
exactly.
There you go.
Yeah, so question for me is, like I said, I'm in the technology sector, so I'm in this weird, like, I love my photography and I love my technology, and we mentioned AI a few times, Tom, like use it partly to work on the platform and things like that, but also within the platform. So I'd like to dig into that a little bit more. So can you tell about some of the features that use AI on the platform? For those that don't know, AI, artificial intelligence, just in case you haven't heard about it in the last 4 years. Yeah.
Bane of my life.
Yeah, so I mean, let's be honest, AI is a hot topic right now. We're talking
really
about AI changing the world, people's jobs, the way it's coming into us as photographers in terms of, generative image generation and Adobe Photoshop, Gen Fill and denoise. God, you can't turn a corner now without seeing a signpost for AI. And I think in the creative world, there's a fair bit of fear and uncertainty about what AI is going to do for us as photographers. What's it going to do for our creativity? What does it actually mean for us as photographers? And I think there's a lot of skepticism around the AI technology within the photography creative sector, because mostly these large AI companies are using it to, I don't know if I use the word replace this is the right word, but the output of images that's coming out of these other platforms, generative images, is absurd. But in my opinion,
yes,
the output of these AI stuff does not replace what we as humans can actually create. And what we're trying to do with Kōlab is use AI in a really smart way that actually works alongside our human creativity. How can we use AI in a clever way to actually enhance what we do as photographers? So let me give you a couple of examples. So at the minute, whenever anyone uploads an image to Kōlab, it goes through a custom-built pipeline that we've built on the back end that analyzes images specifically around photography. It learns to understand what are the strengths of it, around composition or particularly rule of thirds or symmetry, and it starts to actually understand what does this image actually look like from a photographic point of view. That then actually allows us to basically create these little pieces of feedback that get sent along every image that gets uploaded. So you upload a shot and instantly you get 3 pieces of feedback that are related to that image. So rather than just putting up a shot and you getting some likes back, you start to get this feedback. And the goal of this feedback is that it's designed to help kind of train our photographers on the platform to kind of start looking out for these little things. Start training your creative eye. Okay, that's leading light. I hadn't thought about that before. Or that's a dark and moody edit. Or, great use of symmetry there. And actually start to train our photographers into this vocabulary that is otherwise hidden and suppressed by engagement-driven feeds elsewhere. So that's one example of how it's in use at the minute. Moving
Really
forward, we've got some really, really big, exciting plans around this, and you're going to start to see much more of this coming within the next couple of months. And the whole idea is what we're trying to do here is build a real proprietary, our own proprietary machine learning system that actually helps you as a photographer to really understand your photography. So rather than just putting up a piece of work and putting up an image and then another week later putting up another image and another month later putting up an image, and 3 years down the line you've got this collection of images that to you as a photographer doesn't necessarily mean much as a body of work, but actually there's a lot that's happened in that time. Maybe your editing style's changed, maybe you've started experimenting with wider apertures, maybe you've really dialed in and really nailed a new genre that you hadn't shot a year ago. So what we're looking to do is try and surface these insights to give photographers a real understanding of their photographic identity, their journey, what they've been through, and importantly, how we can then open up opportunities through the missions to then kind of push our photographers to try new things and ultimately be more creative.
I think
that's really interesting.
Keiran, I was going to say, we were chatting about AI earlier between us, and people are worried that their photographs are there and AI is being trained on those photographs, and certainly for generating fake images and things like that, which are so realistic now, which is unbelievable. So your AI doesn't do that, does it?
Absolutely. So it's privacy by design. So every image that gets uploaded to Kōlab, everything gets analyzed within our internal systems. Absolutely nothing gets sent out to any of the third-party AI systems. No image data can be used for training. And the only piece of insight that we actually keep on the image is it's like a little, effectively a little text file that kind of contains information about that image that could never be used to then actually recreate that image itself. Right. So it's privacy first by design. Ultimately, we're photographers. I do not want my images trained by AI. Okay, and we don't want our photographers on the platform's images to be trained by AI either. So that was one of our first flags in the ground in terms of this is an absolute no-go. And if we do integrate this technology, it can't be used to train.
Excellent stuff. Yeah, excellent. Okay, that's good.
A real values-led platform on that then.
Great
stuff.
Big time.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah. Storing it in the cloud, obviously, have you got your own servers, or you're there?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So everything's held within the Kōlab bubble
ecosystem.
Yeah. That's good. Okay. There are other features on Kōlab that you've been introducing. I mean, last week or so, edit reveal, which I haven't done yet, but I've seen a few on there. That's really good. What's the thinking behind that, and the other new features that are going to come along?
So edit reveal has actually been a really, really interesting feature to launch. There's a big trend that's been going on social media for years, which is this whole concept of putting out a before and after. You post up a shot that hasn't been edited, and then you post up next to it in a swipey carousel or below it the edited version. So we kind of came up with this concept of like, well, what if we actually took this concept and actually built it out into a feature that was actually designed to showcase a before and after? So we did. We built it, and the way it works is you go onto Kōlab and you upload an image, and then you basically drag in the before shot, and then the platform then automatically creates this before and after slider that you can then kind of drag across. It's cool little nice animation, nice bit of haptic feedback when you're using it on mobile.
I noticed that. That is noticeably impressive, the haptic feedback.
I love
that. The experience is quite cool. If you haven't tried it, go and try it on a shot on Kōlab. If you're listening, it's quite cool.
So the point of it was to like turn into this really nice tactile, fun feature that also just encourages people to show a bit more behind the scenes of what they do.
Oh yeah, I'm just using it now. It's very good. I didn't realise that. So yeah, so that's the before and after and everything like that. So that's a really good thing. People have got their profile reel as well, haven't they? That people can go and look and see all their photos that they've uploaded. And you've also got milestones and XP. So it's kind of, you're encouraging people to upload to get into the platform more, to build their progress. So it's not giving them kind of like something like a competition, but it's giving them a goal to go higher in the platform.
Yeah, it is actually that the XP feature and the levels feature. There's going to be some big changes coming to that, and eventually that is likely going to get retired as a feature on the platform as we start to bring in actually much more meaningful set of tools that actually really allow you to track your progress in a more meaningful photographic sense. And you're going to see some of that coming on the platform over the next couple of months for sure.
Interesting. Okay, that's an interesting one. Now you've got the
another.
Go on. Sorry, Keiran.
I was just going to jump in, Dave. Just another step we've done with the profiles as well is they're available on the web version sort of publicly.
Yeah.
So that you can kind of use your Kōlab as a
portfolio.
You've not got your own. Yeah, it's your portfolio of your very best work. Without, if you're a techie like me, building a website's fine. If you're not, I think it's a great feature.
Yeah.
And that's something again that just adds to that sort of collaborative photographer atmosphere of the whole platform.
Nice one, Kev. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's right. So I've lost my train of thought now, but that's it. You've launched landscape and you've launched wildlife as well, which I've posted a couple of shots in, not many because I haven't got that many. So there's a bit of photography that I like doing, but just don't do enough of. Have you brought in people that are non-aviation photographers to it, who are now posting regularly in it, rather than all us aviation buffs who've take the odd bit of wildlife and take the odd bit of landscape?
I'd say that's almost coming very soon. I think there was a natural thing to invite the people that we know well, and they're already on the Kōlab system, especially now there's Android there as well, right? It's a natural thing for us to be outdoors, say in the low level area, and just seeing these beautiful landscapes. So it made sense to launch a landscape genre. Likewise for birds, there's a lot of similarity between aviation photography and bird photography. It's very challenging, skilled bird photography, and it trains your aviation panning skills particularly well. So there's a lot of people that are interested in that as well, and I see them on social media, and their work's incredible. It's just brilliant. So to be able to offer them a space where they can indulge in both of their passions, or three of their passions there, really easily, that in some way that looks really cool, and as you say, Keiran, build their portfolio as well of those images in different genres, just made complete sense really for those two to start with. And I think that's really our next, well, one of many next steps is to be talking to those guys and girls in that specific wildlife space or the landscape space or the next genres to come along, and really bring that community on board as well, because that would be amazing, wouldn't it? Imagine like having a massive community of wildlife people that then see aviation and get inspired by that and start to choose to do aviation and come along to shows and meet you guys and build another whole community. I mean, that's just golden, isn't it? It's incredible.
So, certainly made me think in that direction as well. I was just on the app today and clicking. I didn't think really to click into wildlife or landscape particularly much, but it gets you thinking.
It's quite inspiring, isn't it?
I shot in the Mac Loop a month ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Cheeky plug for the episode there. Go on, listen. After this one, but I shot. Oh yeah, I've got some landscape shots. I should look at them. And it just gets your sort of creative juices going a bit more.
How cool is that? Like what you've just said there, Keiran. Rather than just staying focused in one genre, expanding your skills and getting another whole area of photography open up to you. I mean, that's just brilliant. What a great outcome from that.
Yeah, definitely. It'll be good to see more of that, and hopefully other people get inspired in the same direction.
Definitely,
as well.
Definitely.
I need to dig some of mine out then and find where they are. They're on the hard disk somewhere, so we'll
digging, Dave.
Yeah. Okay. Partnerships. You're looking. You've already got one partnership now on Kōlab with Sigma.
Yeah, Sigma,
which is interesting. Yeah, and that's in the wildlife section, isn't it?
Predominantly, yes. Yeah, they've got 3 missions in there and a landscape mission as well. So there's 4 missions that are specifically in collaboration with Sigma UK, and it's been fantastic working with them. I mean, a bit like we worked with the photographers and still are working with the photographers to shape this thing. We recognise that there's nowhere really for brands to engage directly with photographers that where they're kind of like their headset is in a different place than just scrolling through social media. You know, you can get your post lost, or you can, you know, just get it all distracted and everything else by flicking through 10 ton of adverts and everything else on our social media feeds. But, you know, having a brand that's there that's actually engaging with us as a brand, with us as photographers, and, you know, genuinely interested in what we're doing and how we're doing and how their lenses are being used, and being able to, you know, get stuck into the community in that way is yeah, I just think that's an amazing thing that doesn't happen anywhere else.
What are they getting from it? Are they getting feedback? Are they just seeing their images on their lenses being used?
All of the above, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've loved to see like their new lenses being pushed. So for example, like say at the moment, one of their big pushes is their Sigma Art range, which is, you know, the 1.8s and the really wide f2. You know, I should remember them off the top of my head, but I can't. But you know the ones I mean, like these incredible, say 35 to 105 f2s and things like that. It's just beautiful stuff, the Sigma Art range. So imagine like me being inspired now to go and use that in aviation. I mean, that would be fantastic. You know, you've probably seen I really enjoy to do you know, man and machine pilots and stuff, working on the airplanes and getting stuck in and crewing in and everything else. And I just use generally the Nikon 24-120 f4, something like that. But if I then had something with a 1.8 lens on it, imagine aperture on it, imagine then walking around and doing a walk around check and having that eye focus on the pilot's eye as he's going around and doing those final checks before a pre-flight, with that beautiful bokeh being brought in. And, you know, I'm not even thinking about that before now, really, honestly. I mean, probably little bit maybe thinking, oh yeah, I'll use the 2.8 because that's quite cool, or, you know, certainly the f4, whatever. But, you know, actually using a portrait art lens in my world, that'd be fantastic. So, you know, just stuff like that, you know, to be able to inspire different ways that we can take photographs of things we love is a fantastic thing.
Great stuff. What's next for the platform then with other brands? Any other brands you're going to work with? And
all of them.
Tell us about
every single one.
That's the plan, is it then? Taking over the world.
Yeah, you know me.
Yeah. So
yeah, we're in advanced discussions with the usual big boys.
Yeah. Excellent stuff. Excellent. Good stuff. Right. Where do you see Kōlab going in the future? What's the plan for it, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's about growing this properly with our community of photographers, and really, it's about working with our community and you know, ultimately being led by our community, the feedback that we continue to get, and to create a space that hopefully continues to add real value into the photographer's workflow. And, you know, what I'd really like to see is that Kōlab, it becomes the place where you edit your shots, and you come to Kōlab first, because that's where you're going to get that initial feedback, help you really understand your shots, figure out what works, what doesn't, and then you take that work and then you're going to go put it on Instagram or other places with 2.9 billion monthly active users or whatever they have on Instagram these days. You know, so I kind of really see Kōlab as slotting in a bit earlier in that workflow and adding that layer that's just really missing from photographers at the minute.
Yeah. So go to Kōlab first, then if it works there, then you can put it on Instagram, and it get lost with the millions of other things that are on there that nobody ever sees, but people will see it.
You can have the joy in Kōlab first.
Yeah, I've just literally seen. I've got 2 notifications on mine for a couple of photos I put up there that have only just come up. So it's nice. You do get feedback completely out of the blue. You don't know it's going to come. So this is a big shout for it. I love the platform. I've got to say, you've done a fantastic job with it. I'm a big fan of it.
Thanks, Dave.
I know, you know, it's not easy putting something like this together, but I think you've pulled it off. Really do.
Very nice of you to say so. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah.
Can only echo what Dave said.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
It's a great platform.
Thank you.
What's next for you guys, photography wise? Tom, where are you off to next?
So I really want to get back into some landscape photography. I moved to France back in December, and I'm currently living in the mountains of France. And so I really want to get back into some mountain landscape photography this summer. My camera is sat in that room next door. In fact, I was going to go out last night, but then I ran out of time. So yeah, I'm going to go out within the next 2 weeks and go shoot some landscapes.
Excellent stuff, Rich. What's next on the agenda for you?
Always quite a bit. So probably a trip to Wales in the next couple of weeks, and then follow that by a couple of days of air-to-airs with some warbirds, and then going over to Poland for the Lesno show and to work with the Polish Air Force whilst we're out there as well. So, and that's all within the next 3 weeks. So it's quite
that show in Lesno looks
busy man.
Yeah, I pity I can't get leave for that because that's such a superb show. But there we are. Kieran, what are you up to next?
Yes, I'm off to Midlands Air Festival at the end of this month, which it's mainly social. The Midlands Air Festival. It's a bit of a challenge for photography. If you do see us there, do come and say hello. And then after that, we'll be straight on to Yorkshire Museum's Thunder Day, which is the engineers get to play with their rather large toys and spend lots of money on aviation fuel, and I get to photograph their smiling faces while doing it. So it's one of my favourite days of the year.
He has to get a Yorkshire Air Museum. He has to get Yam in there somewhere. I haven't mentioned Phantoms at all. We'll do that another time. Because had a bit
what's next for you, Dave?
Yes. Next up, Math. We'll be at Math with you. So we'll be facing the light and seeing what we can do. And then after that, at the end of June, I've got the Australian over, God help us. So we're going to Shuttleworth. So there we are. That's what my plans are, gents. It's been absolutely fascinating talking to you both about Kōlab. We'll end it there. But if people can find you, what is the web address that people can find you easily at?
So it's Kōlab, Kōlab,
right.
.social, Kōlab.social.
And
that's the
they
same
can find you.
Instagram, Facebook.
Yeah. And on the App Store as well. So in the App Store, go and download it there. Okay. Go and do that as soon as you've listened to this episode and look at some of the wonderful photographs that are in there. And don't be afraid to put your photographs in there, because you will only get great advice. Let's say that. Chaps, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Look after yourselves.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. Yes,
Been a
we'll
pleasure.
be back again for another episode. Whenever, Keiran.
Yes.
God knows. We'll be back.
Some point
Take
soon.
care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Cheers.
Bye.